Good afternoon. Lunch with Lisa on Friday. Friday, it is the end of week 6. We are at episode 30. And I have absolutely loved the Friday Entertainment Fridays and the people that we have been able to share and enjoy. And today we have Coby James. Coby is a rising pop star. And according to your managers, you are the next big thing. And I'm thrilled that you're here. And I love watching you already. And what was it that they said? They said the girls love him and the moms do too.
Oh, whatever. They're paid to say that. They don't mean it. It's not.
Coby, you started playing guitar when you were 7. This is, it's with all of our musicians that come on. I don't play an instrument, and I wish I did. And I say this every week, and I'm just amazed at how much you've all done since you were young, and that the dedication that you've had since you were young, and you inspire me because I really wish I had. You produce, you write, you perform. You've performed on a national tour with Grammy nominated and Dove Award winner Danny Gokey, who we may all remember from American Idol. And again, I guess, I don't know, I'm talking a lot today. I love American Idol. I love the fact that people that aren't known can get up and try, just like, well, anyway, I love American Idol. So great that you've been able to tour with Danny Gokey. I'm sure that you learned a lot there. You signed with indie label Centricity, and you've released 2 self-produced EPs, and you've got more coming out. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. I sure do.
So, Coby, I actually have kids that are your age, and not that they don't have a lot going on, but they certainly aren't running professional careers. What is that like to be? Well, first of all, how old are you? Share that with us.
So I'm 18.
You're 18. Great. Same age as my son.
Yeah.
But you're running a professional career. What is it like to have to do that and do everything that an 18-year-old is doing at the same time?
It's for sure interesting. I started flying to Nashville around the time I turned 17.
Sure.
I turned 17. I started flying to Nashville every month. I'd be here for about a week to 2 weeks every month, and that was just kind of like my life. And I would work
on top of school.
On top of school. I mean, I was homeschooled, so it was super, super simple and super easy to just kind of like manage the workload. And so I'd work all day, every day for a week here. And then I'd fly home and like hang out with friends and do like the normal stuff. And then I'd come back and work some more. And it was like, it was definitely strange. But I didn't really think about it a whole lot. I kind of felt like I was made to do this in a way. Like ever since I started making music, it's just been like all I can think about, all I can, like, it's my purpose, I think. And so
your calling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes things a lot easier and not so strange. I don't feel like I'm doing an adult thing. I don't feel like I'm like this. I just feel like I'm a kid that still loves to make music, and it just so happens to have more of a platform to share it now.
So, well, that's interesting. So did you start homeschooling when you decided to be a more professional musician, or were you always homeschooled?
I was homeschooled my whole life. So
oh, wow. So this pandemic is nothing new for you. You're actually probably light years ahead of all the other kids because you've been doing this the whole time.
That's right. No, it kind of is like the staying at home thing was definitely my whole childhood, but it was fun. Like being homeschooled was amazing. It definitely gave me the opportunity and liberty to be creative and like explore, what I like to do and like what where my gifts were, because I feel like that's something that's hard to do when you have school every single day and you've got classes and all that comes with school. I mean, extracurricular activities, and so my parents were really good at helping us figure out what we loved and then pouring into that. So it was really, really great, and I loved it. Yeah.
This is a fascinating topic right now, and I actually hadn't planned on talking about homeschooling today, but it's super timely and topical. I remember reading that homeschooled kids actually had a lot more time to excel in extracurriculars, such as music, such as sports, because the time was so much more efficient for learning.
Right.
And you think that you'd be able to do what you're doing now if you weren't homeschooled?
I definitely say probably not. I think all the things that come with school would have definitely distracted me. I'm definitely ADD and like fast brain, so I would have definitely. I would have been looking everywhere and trying to like just fill my time with all these different things, and
Sure.
I think, but having all that kind of removed really helped me to like kind of find music as like that thing that I could like obsess over and pour into, and so I don't know. I feel like in an alternate reality, I don't know if I'd be doing what I'm doing today if I went to school.
Yeah, I hope that you know that ADD is your superpower. And
Yeah.
we had Peter Shankman on another episode. He wrote the book on this, all about how ADD and ADHD is really a superpower if you know how to manage it, because you can be thinking about so many things at once and have so much energy to do things. You just know how to channel that. So
That's
I
right.
love that you brought that up, because it's really a terrific benefit, actually, if you know how to manage that. And it sounds like you do. Um, Talk to me about process. How do you come up with songs? Where does your creativity come from?
Yeah. So I don't. It's kind of crazy because I don't really know. Like I've always been creative. I used to paint, and I've always been into art and acting, and that's been kind of like my thing my whole life, is that sort of like the creative arts. So my dad is an artist. He does lots of woodwork and wood design. He got a
Yeah.
degree in that for school, so that was what he did. And so like kind of it was always pushed in my family, just like, you know, be who you are, be artsy. And so I think a lot of it stems from that. But when I'm in the studio and stuff, I kind of just like, well, when I came to Nashville for the first time as a kid, I didn't really know. I'd never co-written before.
Mhm.
I'd never been into a studio. Like I'd just been in my bedroom with my computer, and that was it. And so um, the first write I ever had was in Capitol Records in
Mhm.
one of the studios, and it was like a dream come true for like 17-year-old me, because I had dreamed about, you know, walking into a record label, and now I'm like writing in one with like guitars on the walls and like all these cool things. And it was just like, but I was just kind of like myself. Like I didn't overthink it, and I just sort of
Right.
like I sang the melodies that came easy to me. Like I'm really good at melodies, and like the syncopation of the rhythm and stuff like that when singing the melodies. Like that's just kind of like my favorite part of it. And so I just did what I've always done, just like alone, and it just so happened to work, and I just so happened to, you know, connect with the writer, and that was kind of like the first like spark. And I think that was kind of like, so that's kind of my creative process, is just kind of like it's all gut instinct. It's like all whatever comes
Sure.
natural. And I definitely feel like, you know, I've had to learn to trust that gut instinct more, because I would second guess a lot out the gate and definitely be a little more inadequate. I mean,
Mhm.
I get that, because, you know, being 17 and in a room full of adults that have hits and have songs on
Right.
the radio and stuff, it's like, you know, who am I? Who's some 17-year-old to say like, you know, no, that's not the right lyric, that's not the right melody. You know, my idea is right. And I guess I've kind of come to the idea that, you know, since I'm the artist, I do have, you know, a vision and a avenue I want to go down. And so I've definitely just kind of grown in confidence, and I think my gut's also gotten better at just determining what's a good idea and what isn't.
It's really fascinating that you are saying this, because Grace Kelly said the same exact thing last
Yeah.
week. The same exact thing, that when she's doing something that sounds not like her authentic self, that is going against her gut, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't sound right, and it doesn't work. And you're essentially saying the same thing. And the other thing I think is fascinating is that at 17, you do know what your gut is, and that it works, and that you're walking into these studios, and your publicist, Jeff Galco's on. I love that he's prompting me from the side here. This kid went from first time in a studio to a major tour in 1 year. Crazy. That is crazy. That's amazing. Clearly, when you got in there, you weren't overwhelmed. You just owned it. That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
Definitely. Yeah. I think I don't know. I've always been pretty confident. I haven't I try not to second guess myself, because, you know, I'm just who I am, and I dig who I am. And I think I don't know, it's just I wasn't thinking about it now. I probably should have been thinking about it a little bit more. I should have been like more worried than I was.
Why should have anything? It sounds like you're doing great.
Well, no, but like as a kid, it's a little insane for me to even think back to like how, like, I was probably a little overconfident. But I don't know, like it's just it's definitely it's hard to be inadequate and do this, because it's easy to get walked all over, you know? So kind of being comfortable in your own
Sure.
skin and knowing how to hold your own really helps you. I've definitely been in my fair share of rights where I've been walked all over and been told I can't do things or say certain things. And you don't even feel like an artist at that point. You kind of feel like you're just like, why am I even in the room? So I definitely feel like it's a part of it, and learning that you have to have thick skin and just kind of say what you mean is that
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, we've all been in that place where someone's told us we can't do something, or that,
yeah,
you know, our gut isn't right, and we know it. And that's actually what helps you move forward. That's what helps you be different and
right.
excel. I'm dying to hear you play. I do have one more question, because I think about all the people who are watching, particularly kids that are your age. And what I'd love to know is, where do you get that from? Like, why do you think you have that thick skin and that ability to walk in and know yourself and be confident in that way? Because there are a lot of kids that are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 45 who, aren't confident in that way, and they do second guess themselves, and they want to know what the room thinks in order to make a decision. Where do you get that from, that you can do that?
Well, I'd say I think everybody still is self-conscious to a degree. Like I definitely am. I think I actually wrote a song about it. I can play it today actually. It's called
Okay.
No Trouble, and it's about kind of what people say about you and how everybody's always got something to say. And my parents have been really, really amazing and supportive with kind of like letting us just be who we were. And we joke around a lot. Like my house is like just full of like laughter, and we all, we that's just like what we do. And so
Right.
I've never like things that people say just kind of bounce off me. I don't know why. It's just always been like a thing that I you can't take things to heart too seriously. And I also I'm confident. I think I'm confident because I'm a Christian, so I definitely find my identity in Christ, and that's kind of where my hope is. So I don't really have to worry about what other people think, because that's just like that's kind of where I'm at in life. Is like I'm good no matter what,
Well, that's a gift. That is definitely a gift. All right, Coby, I'm going to jump off here, and you can take the screen and share your greatness with us and your talent. And I'll pop back on as soon as you're done with your song.
Sure. Sounds great.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So this song I'm going to play. Let's do. I'm going to do Paradise. This is one of my first songs on the EP that we wrote, and it's one of my favorites. And this is Paradise. Pavement, been burning up the pavement, 1,000 miles chasing, always out of reach, oasis, looking for a fake bliss, always in the distance, it can't quite touch what I can't see, broken like a record, spinning around, a slave to the rhythm, beating me down, but through your eyes, you let me see paradise. Think I finally found out that next to you is the promised land, the promised land. Paradise. Everything else is wasted time, 'cause by your side is paradise. Oh my, yeah. On and on, on and on. On and on, on and on. I'm captivated, only way I can explain it. All of these treasures I'm trading them for you. I'm broken like a record, spinning around, a slave to the rhythm, beating me down. But through your eyes, you let me see paradise. Think I finally found out that next to you is the promised land, the promised land. Paradise. Everything else is wasted time, 'cause by your side is paradise. Oh my, yeah. On and on, on and on. Bum, 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 on and on, on and on. Oh my, hey yeah. Oh my, hey yeah. Oh my, hey yeah. Oh my, hey yeah. Oh my, hey yeah, hey yeah. Oh my, with you all along, yeah. Oh my, hey yeah, hey yeah. Oh no, no. Think I finally found out that next to you is the promised land, the promised land, paradise. Everything else is wasted time, 'cause by your side is paradise. On my mind, paradise. Think I finally found out that next to you is the promised land, the promised land, paradise. Everything else is wasted time, 'cause by your side is paradise. On my mind, yeah. On and on, on and on. On and on, on and on.
Love it. I don't know if we've all been chatting on the side here about your talent.
Yeah.
I was joking that I played flute in the band in 5th grade. I think I played recorder. I think I played recorder in 4th grade. That's all I got.
That's so cool. No, that's awesome. What are you talking about? You have more talent than me.
I so love Entertainment Friday because there's just, you all have so much talent, and you have an ability to entertain and to just make people smile and be happy, and it's it's just so great. Again, look at these on the side here. If I had half that vocal talent, have you taken vocal lessons too, or is this something that also just came naturally?
I was not born a singer. I was terrible. I think when I was 15 is when I started like singing, and it was so bad. I sang when I was younger, and I was like fine. I could sing. But then when I hit puberty, my voice just did all these things, and so I was not ready for that. I didn't know, so I just basically had to sing through puberty and like get through all of that, and then kind of start learning my voice. But it was a work in progress. I took vocal lessons for a minute, for like a month maybe, but I didn't stick with them because of actually I got the tour, and so I ended up touring, and I was just like, I don't have time for them. So it's definitely been a thing that's been acquired over time, and I'm still working on it. But yes.
Yeah, that brings me to another question. Touring. Are you touring by yourself? Are your parents going? Do you have a friend that goes? How does that work?
Yeah.
I want to tour.
Touring is crazy. I did not think my life would have touring in it. I always wanted to, but I didn't see that coming. Really, I didn't have anybody with me. The first week, my manager came out for like a few dates, and then other than that, I was just kind of like doing my thing. I just like got on the bus and slept on the bus at night and hung out, and I made friends. I made, one of my best friends was on the tour, and I met her there, and so like it's just kind of like I just went for it, and it worked out. My parents came to a few shows. They came to like a week of shows, one in Florida. Like we played Florida for like 4 dates, and so they came to all 4 of those, and so they were definitely around. But it was just kind of like I'm pretty self-sufficient. Like I can just kind of do my thing. I live on my own. I kind of like, just do my thing. So yeah, it was wild.
Good. Wow. Good for you. With this pandemic and not being able to tour, you've got social media going now. You're trying to do things online. You've got your music on Apple Music. What are you doing to keep busy? What are you doing to keep yourself out there and let people know what you got going on?
What I got going on? Honestly, I should be better at social media. I'm not very good at it. I tend to just work on music. During the pandemic, so I moved to Nashville the day everything shut down. So I'm living in a house now, and I was just kind of like here. I was writing on Zoom every day, but other than that, I was just kind of like, all right, this is what we got to do right now. And then I ended up moving in with my producer that I work with, the guy I was telling Hayden about. I moved in with him for about a month, and we just worked on music for every single day, wrote every single day. It was kind of a dream. It was really, really fun. And so that's what I've been really kind of up to during the pandemic, is just working on new songs. I've got some new stuff coming out in June, and the rest of the year I've got like 4 singles coming out. So I'm really pumped about that. And we've just been tidying them up and getting them ready to go. And yeah.
How will you be promoting those?
No idea.
Okay.
No,
you're surrounded by a great team, by the way. You want to give a plug to your producer and your manager, because I talked to Sam Fisher for a while the other day. He's a super guy. Jeff Gulko has been a good friend of mine for a long, long time. Yeah, plug these guys because you're surrounded by a terrific team.
Oh, absolutely. Sam is the greatest manager in the world. He took me to Nashville when I was, like I was just some random kid, and he just picked me up and was like, "Hey, let's go to Nashville and see what you can do." And he believed in me before anybody else did. And so I have like literally my whole career to like I have to thank him for that. And
so that's Sam Fisher.
Sam Fisher, and then Jeff Golka has been amazing. He got me he got me on the radio for the first time ever. Like it was kind of like an experience. I was riding with my dad in the car, and like it was on Coffee House XM. One of my songs played, and I was just like, it was unbelievable. And I wouldn't have that without Jeff. And it's literally
explain that experience. I remember someone once talking about almost driving off the road the first time they heard their song on the radio.
I literally started screaming because he said Jeff told us it was the next day that they were going to air it. But it was the day before. It was like 10 o'clock at night, 11 at night, because we were driving to a show. And like I was just like, we were listening to the Coffee House because we liked that station, and literally it was turned all the way down to like the volume was at like 2, and I heard like, I don't know what because I produced the song that was on Coffee House. Like it was the one that I made in my bedroom because that was the acoustic album that I just solely made on my own. So I was like, I recognized like, I don't even know what it was. It was like kind of subconsciously in my head because it was like kind of there. I don't know, but I heard it.
You know those notes. You know the way
I was like, I recognize that guy. And I a little bit, and I lost it. I was just like, it was kind of like the most surreal moment of my life. I think it was like, I don't know, you dream about it. So it was crazy.
We have a few minutes left. If anybody has any questions for Coby, I suggest you throw them up there so he can answer them real quick. Anything else you want to share with us? I mean, we really appreciate your time and again, sharing your talent. And, if everybody wants to follow him on Instagram, what's your Instagram?
Coby James Music. That's my Instagram. It's short and simple. Perfect. That'd be great. Follow me on Instagram, Spotify. Follow Spotify and check me out on iTunes. That's kind of like, that's the place. That's where all the stuff's at. So yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Miss you, Coby. Yeah. Again, this is the challenge of all this isolation, right? But at least everybody's into video now, and we're doing things that we didn't do before on video. I don't know the last time I just talked to somebody on the phone. At least I'm seeing people. So.
No, exactly. And I think it's definitely changed the game for podcasts and things like this. Like it's kind of like given these new lives and these like, I mean, that's what everybody's looking at and watching right now is this kind of stuff and this kind of content. And I think this content hasn't gotten that kind of like light shed on it before. So it's really, really, really like awesome to see like the response that this kind of stuff is getting.
Great. Well, if you've enjoyed today, we'll be up on YouTube with this later today. Please share it with your friends. And, I think especially if you know people who have teenagers, I think that these are great to watch because you're setting just such an example for other kids your age and of what can be possible. And it doesn't have to be a music touring career, but it could be anything that you're able to go out there and do it and try and put yourself out there. And I think that's really terrific. So, cheers to you. And I look forward to watching your career. And I'm just going to give a quick plug for next week. We have, actually, this is a great segue into next week. Elizabeth Segrin. She's a senior staff writer for Fast Company, but she also wrote the book, The Rocket Years. It was just released this spring. And The Rocket Years is all about not letting the 20s be your playground time, but your time to set your trajectory for success. And now if you really position yourself in your 20s or apparently in your teens, you can really set yourself up for the rest of your life. So she's going to be talking about that next week. We have Michael Grove from Sasaki. He's one of the leaders in the world on urban design and ecology. He's building towers in Shanghai that are farms. I mean, it's amazing. And he's talking about what it's fascinating what they're doing in other parts of the world with urban agriculture and farms in the middle of cities. And he's going to be talking about what we could be doing here in the United States that would change how we eat our food and where we get our food from. And so I'm super excited about that one. Then of course, Thursday, we have Dr. Dr. Lori Glimsher, who's the CEO and president of Dana-Farber. And as you all may know, we are fundraising for the next week for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in honor of my dad, who is right now fighting stage 4 gastroesophageal cancer. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has donated so far. In 48 hours, we've raised just about $13,000. And that is in corporate sponsorships and individual gifts. I just want to read off real quick. Kramer Advisory, High Point Engineering, Commodore Builders, the Goodale Company, CBT Architects, Bullfinch, Design Farm Architects, the Richmond Companies, Michael and Heather Bajulian, Janitronics Building Services, Crosspoint Associates, and Callahan Construction Managers have all come in as sponsors of that. If you are interested in making $1,000 sponsorship donation, we 100%, of course, of everything is going to Dana-Farber. And we are putting your logos on all of our marketing, public relations, social media to let the world know that you are supporting our doctors, our nurses who are taking care of patients who are, again, more vulnerable. Cancer continues on during a pandemic, and families are having to manage this with isolation and over Zoom. And so, again, that will be a terrific episode next week, and we hope you can all join us. With that, Coby, you're going to take us out into the weekend. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you, Coby. I look forward to watching your career.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Sure. What are you singing, Coby?
I'm going to sing a song called No Trouble, the one I was talking about just kind of, people talking about you behind your back and whatever, and how it doesn't matter.
All righty. Thanks so much. Bye,
Yeah,
everyone.
thanks.
Have a great weekend.
How you always looking for some controversy? Nothing but a chip on your shoulder for me. Like you always formulate what you're gonna say, yeah, yeah. All my life you never let it go. Rumors flying like it's every song. All these games you play are getting old. So here we go. And I don't want no trouble, I don't want no shade, but you keep raining on my parade. You say what you want, I'll keep it on your chest. You might be insecure, but I got finesse. Don't want no trouble. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, don't want no trouble. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you wish your words could make my bones break and take all my emotional energy. You hear me screaming out till the walls cave. The walls cave. Oh, oh, oh. All my life you never let it go. Rumors flying like it's every song. All these games you play are getting old. So here we go. And I don't want no trouble, I don't want no shade, but you keep raining on my parade. Just say what you want, keep it on your chest. You might be insecure, but I got finesse. Don't want no trouble. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, don't want no trouble. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, I'm so sick of the drama. To be got a problem, get over yourself. Don't come at me. You better mind yourself. You know good and well the smoke you blow in your dreams. Cause I don't want no trouble, I don't want no shade, but you keep raining on my parade. Just say what you want, keep it on your chest. You might be insecure, but I got finesse. Cause I don't want no trouble, I don't want no shade, but you keep raining on my parade. Just say what you want, I'll keep it on your chest. You might be insecure, but I got finesse. Don't want no. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, don't want no trouble. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, I don't want no trouble. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and yeah, peace.